Hello and welcome back to RailRoads Online. So today we are here, just kind of hanging out on top of the mountain. We are going to be running up to the, iron mine this time. I think last time was coal mine, but we're running up to the iron mine this time. So we will be going from out there at the sawmill. You can see the pond off in the distance, and we will be heading up here. Just turned around and started out up here because figured, what the heck, view looks good. You can see the whole run, and this is just one of the best viewing places I guess I've found in the whole game. You can turn around and see pretty much every industry with the exception of the logging camp on the other side of that mountain over there. So it's just kind of a cool place to come up and take a look at every once in a while. I have put a telegraph booth up here, obviously, just for, ease of getting up here. If anybody is curious, it is right there pretty much in the middle of the map. Oh, wrong button. So, yeah, gives just a good view, a good place to hang out, I guess. See the trains. Heck of a drop off the one side. Definitely don't want to take a step too far that way or you end up down the mountain. Good thing we have no fall damage because, yeah, that wouldn't do very good. But so, enough playing around. Looks like we'll get down to work. We have already brought this one out, big green, and loaded her up for the day. Ready to take the load. We will have to check switches and all that along the way as we have not preset anything. So hopefully we get a little lucky and most of them are ready to go. Alright. Clear out the old loco and let it start to run. The 1024.5 Baldwin locomotive. Works really well. Very little to complain about with this locomotive. That's for sure. We did actually find a limit for it. The 6 cars of rails up the 6% grade definitely did cause it to need some help. So not crazy overpowered or anything. Definitely has limits when it comes to grades, but decent locomotive, does most of everything we want it to do without too much of a problem. Even double heading it on some of those runs is kind of just going to be fun to do, so something new. Though I do have to say, coming out of the mountains with that double header, the running 2 trains like that, I did have to disconnect the rear locomotive or try to drag it with some brake on because going down that steep hill, it just wanted to run over the cars in between them. So that was a bit of a thing, to say the least. And yeah, a little bit of a new test there that was. But nevertheless, oh, we are so out of coal. She sat there forever. Horrible plan. That means we're going to be out of pressure. Rolling slow. Make sure that we don't have any brakes on, so we just keep rolling. I do not like jumping over these coal piles. The hitbox for the coal piles, I am not a huge fan of. I'll be the first to admit they do change things to make it a bit of a hassle getting in and out of the locomotives. Realistic probably, but a bit of a hassle nonetheless. It's just a gigantic hitbox, and I guess I don't know which is better, sinking into the wood and walking neck deep in wood, or having coal that you just walk right on top of, I guess, but not get through. So, whatever, you gotta go one way or the other. Not sure which is better. It's just every time you go to try to turn to get out of the back of the loco and they won't let you. It's kind of a hassle after we've gotten used to doing that. At least that's how I take it. So, there you go. But, you know, that's the least of the issues, I guess. Decent looking little train there. Sadly, no caboose to close it out at this point yet, but we will be getting there, starting to put some expendable money in the account there. But we still have plenty of rolling stock that we need, so nothing yet. Water temperature's almost there, so we should be getting back to going. Really should have stoked the heck out of the loco. Didn't do that. I have this one scoop at a time coal thing that I tend to run. Don't ask me why, but not a big. I've never been real big on like filling the locos. Pretty conservative when it comes to fuel usage. So that's just kind of how it's always worked for me. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on. We're very close. Of course, now we have absolutely zero pressure, so we're not really that close. Oh, what can we do in the meantime? We can turn around and walk around and take a look at the locomotive. See if we can see new things that we haven't seen before. I'm assuming that's for like dumping the ashes and soot, stuff like that. Plate doesn't actually say anything you can read. That's a thing. This was that update picture locomotive that we were teased. Do have to say it's a great looking locomotive. I don't have anything against it. I do like the green color, probably the best. It's kind of the middle ground where you get some color, but it looks very classic and not unrealistic in any way. Not that I know that this was ever an actual paint livery that was used on anything, but it certainly seems feasible that this would have been a livery that was used. I think it's a good looking train nonetheless. I do have to say I'm probably a little more partial to this than the Class 70 because I do think this just looks a little better, honestly, and maybe a few better options with it, but and the whistle's great. Kind of think this is probably the best new all-around locomotive in the game, at least in my opinion, as far as ease of overall use. I do probably like the Ruby Basin a little bit better, but I do think this one is probably a little more, you know, universally usable, I guess, is my thing. I think this is probably the most usable loco in the game currently, so, and it definitely is priced as such, so most expensive locomotive in the game, if nothing else, which is always nice to have. Having a fleet would definitely cost a fair amount, but worth having. Do like the little round light, and I'm a sucker for an onion smokestack, so being this in the climax, I believe, are the only two we can get onion stacks on. I'm kind of a big fan of it because I'm all for the onion stacks. It's just the one I like. Just a personal preference, I guess, but I do think the onion stacks are kind of unique. Would like to see several more added to other locomotives as an option. That's for sure. Do need to get some more loads run back up here to the iron mines, so we're going to be doing that, filling that back up. Been pulling some now, pulling out of the pile down at the smelter. So I was looking to make room to make a little more money, and iron is a quick money maker. That is for sure. Like to run those 5-car trains down there at $1,000 a pop. Just keep things nice, simple, round, and fast. So that's kind of my early game money maker. and I tend to fall back on it when I want to make a little bit of loot. So having that mine filled is always a good way of having money in the bank in the game, and something I'm a big fan of doing, that's for sure. We roll it up the little snaky turn that we have going on up this thing, just kind of meandered along up the hill so that we didn't really have to encounter too many of the sharp obstacles, and we could just kind of keep the grade consistent and the curves light so we didn't have any bogged down areas on the run. It's kind of really the thinking here. So we get up here, we kind of flatten out a little bit and ease up on the grade. We just kind of run out. Just a nice simple run. Keeps it easy, keeps it quick. You do have to run an awful lot of loads up here to get the mine filled all the time, to get it filled. To get it filled, you gotta run a lot. You gotta run a lot to keep it full. So having this run just economical and easy to do makes sense to me. Probably don't need to slow it down just yet. Still have plenty of time going into the turn here, so we will let it roll out on its own. Alright, started doing some braking, get our speed right for our drop. Oh, probably should run up and check that switch so that we don't end up down at the smelter, and we can go right back for more, because we are definitely going to have to do some beams to go along with the lumber. That is a certainty. Hey, don't stop. I suppose it's still got to pull around that corner. That should be enough to get the rest around, especially as it gets lighter. Hopefully. Maybe. Not just really wanting to roll out today. That's for certain. Hopefully we get some sort of update coming up here sometime soon. Coal update now has been about a month back. You know, we had the bug fix, obviously, but bug fixes are great as always for play, but not so exciting for continual play, that's for sure. So definitely looking forward to an update at this point, and hopefully that comes sometime soon. Still haven't heard any official word as to when that would be, so we're just gonna have to keep our keep open to when that might show up. Well, hopefully it's sooner than later. Can we sneak all those off? Yeah, we still got them all. That work is either go or no go, but no in between today. Loco does not want to roll out once we get it here, which is kind of funny because it was rolling everywhere else. But a lot of turns up here. Turns will slow you down, that's for sure. Alright. You stopping? Make sure it's stopping. Not sure if we can still get those. Looks good. Looks good. So there we go. Not exactly the most pain-free roll-through drop, but getting the pile of lumber up there, so that's the thing. Now we just need some beams, and we'll get to producing some more iron ore. So, as you can see, we are pretty much running out. But I think we're going to call that one a win for today. Say thanks for tuning in, and I'm sure we'll be bringing you something else sometime soon, and we'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a great day.